Hey everyone, welcome to the open question. Why does religion rely so much on fear? Fear of eternal torment, fear of divine punishment, fear of straying from the path, and even fear of questioning itself. For something that claims to bring peace and love, it sure spends a lot of time reminding you to be afraid. Ever wonder why? Because fear is its most effective weapon. Today, let's pull back the curtain on how religion uses fear to manipulate, control, and dominate, and why it's so important to break free. From the moment you're introduced to religion, fear is usually the first thing you're taught. Even as a child, you're told stories about hell, sin, and punishment. You're warned about angering God or breaking divine rules, and this sticks with you. Why? Because fear is a primal emotion. It bypasses logic and burrows deep into the human psyche. Once it's there, it's hard to get rid of. Religion knows this, and it uses that fear to establish control early before you even have a chance to think critically about what you're being told. Think about hell for a moment. The concept of eternal torture is one of the most terrifying ideas ever invented. It's not just suffering, it's endless suffering, with no escape. The mere thought of it is enough to make people panic, and that's the point. Hell is designed to be so horrifying that you wouldn't dare risk it. You're told that even questioning its existence could jeopardize your eternal fate. And who benefits from this? Not you. It's the religious institutions, the ones who claim they can save you from this fate, if you obey them, follow their rules, and don't ask too many questions. It's a textbook case of problem-reaction-solution. Create the problem, stir up fear, and then present yourself as the only way out. But it doesn't stop at hell. Religion also weaponizes death itself. Death is a universal fear because it's the ultimate unknown. What happens when we die? It's a question that has haunted humanity for millennia. Religion swoops in with a promise. You don't have to fear death as long as you follow us. Of course, the flip side of that promise is a threat. If you don't follow, death will lead to unimaginable suffering. So now, instead of seeing death as a natural part of life, you're conditioned to see it as a moment of divine judgment, a reckoning that determines your eternal fate. It's a clever trick. It takes something inevitable, something everyone experiences, and turns it into a tool for control. Fear of judgment is another powerful weapon. Religion doesn't just teach you to fear what happens after you die, it teaches you to fear how you're perceived here and now. You're constantly being watched, not just by an all-knowing deity, but by your community, your family, your peers. Step out of line, and you risk being judged, shamed, or even ostracized. This fear of judgment keeps people from questioning the rules, even when those rules don't make sense. It creates a self-policing system where people are too afraid to step out of line, not because the rules are just, but because the consequences of disobedience are terrifying. Religion also makes you fear yourself. You're told that you're inherently sinful, that your thoughts, desires, and instincts are flawed and untrustworthy. You're taught to doubt your own judgment and rely on religious authority to tell you what's right and wrong. This creates a deep sense of insecurity and dependence. If you believe you're broken, you'll always look to the church, the mosque, or the temple to fix you. It's a cycle of fear and dependence that's incredibly hard to break. And let's not forget the fear of the other. Religion thrives on creating enemies, non-believers, people of other faiths, or even those within the same religion who interpret things differently. These groups are often demonized, portrayed as threats to the faith or agents of evil. This serves two purposes. It unites followers against a common enemy, and it discourages them from exploring different perspectives. After all, if you've been taught to fear and distrust anyone outside your faith, you're less likely to question or leave it. The fear of the unknown is perhaps the oldest and most universal fear that religion exploits. Before the advent of science, humanity had no way of understanding natural phenomena like thunderstorms, eclipses, or diseases. Religion filled this gap with stories of gods, spirits, and divine intervention. But instead of simply offering explanations, it added fear to the equation. Thunder wasn't just a natural event, it was a sign of God's anger. Disease wasn't just biology, it was punishment for sin. Even today, when we have scientific explanations for so much, religion still clings to this tactic. It tells you that some mysteries are beyond human understanding, and that questioning them is dangerous. This keeps people from seeking answers outside the framework of religion and reinforces the idea that faith, not reason, is the safest path. One of the most insidious ways religion uses fear is by attacking doubt itself. Questioning your faith isn't seen as curiosity or a desire for understanding. It's seen as a moral failing, a weakness, or even a sin. You're told that doubt is dangerous, that it opens the door to corruption or eternal damnation. This creates a mental prison where you're too afraid to explore other ideas, even if those ideas make more sense or align better with your values. By making doubt taboo, religion ensures that its grip remains unchallenged. Even the promise of heaven, which is supposed to be comforting, is often used as a tool of fear. You're told that heaven is only for the chosen few, for those who follow the rules perfectly. This creates constant anxiety. Am I good enough? Have I done enough? Will I make it? Instead of living your life freely and authentically, you're stuck trying to earn a reward that may not even exist. And who gets to decide the rules for earning that reward? The religious leaders, of course. It's yet another way they maintain control. Fear isn't just used to control individuals, it's used to control entire societies. Throughout history, rulers and religious leaders have worked hand in hand, using fear of divine punishment to enforce obedience. Kings claimed they ruled by divine right, and questioning their authority was not just treason, it was blasphemy. Even today, religion is often used to justify oppressive laws and policies, keeping people afraid to challenge the status quo. The fear of going against God's will is a powerful deterrent to change. Religion's reliance on fear is not accidental. It's a calculated strategy to keep people obedient, submissive, and dependent. But here's the thing, fear only works if you believe in it. When you start to question, when you start to confront those fears and see them for what they are, empty threats, they lose their power. The idea of hell becomes absurd. The fear of death becomes manageable. The judgment of others becomes irrelevant. And once the fear is gone, so is religion's hold over you. So, the next time someone tells you that religion is about love and hope, ask yourself why it spends so much time telling you to be afraid. Fear is not a path to enlightenment. It's a tool of control. But you don't have to live in fear. You can question, you can think for yourself, and you can find freedom in the simple act of letting go. Thank you for watching, and remember, fear is the enemy of truth, and truth is the enemy of control. If you've made it this far, thank you for taking the time to question and think critically about the things we've been taught to fear. Creating videos like this takes time and effort, and your support can make a huge difference. If you'd like to help me continue this work, consider supporting me on Patreon. Your contributions allow me to dedicate more time to research, improve the quality of my content, and keep this channel going. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It's the easiest way to stay connected and make sure you never miss a video. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, leave a comment with your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation alive. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.